In the last video, we introduced this marginal propensity to consume. And we also said that it's known as the MPC, and it's also the slope of the planned consumption function. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit more into it about exactly how are we going to calculate this MPC, this marginal propensity to consume. So if you see, we still have that same formula from the last video where we say consumption is equal to this autonomous consumption plus this marginal propensity to consume, also known as the slope of this consumption function, times this disposable and personal income. And if you look over here, we have on this chart the consumption expenditures, disposable income, just like on the last one. We have that exact same line drawn where we have this autonomous consumption starting right here, and we have showing that consumption increases as income increases. So this marginal propensity to consume is the change in consumption expenditures associated with the change in income. Essentially, it's saying how much more are we going to spend by how much are we going to receive more in income. If we receive more in income, how much more are we going to spend? That's essentially what the marginal propensity to consume is. It's a change in consumption associated with change in income. So to calculate this marginal propensity to consume, we say that MPC is equal to the change in consumption. This little symbol right here is known as a delta. It's the Greek letter delta, and it's in mathematics it's known as the change in. So we say the change in consumption divided by the change in disposable personal income. So let's go ahead and work through an example. We say that disposable income, it rises from $3,000 up to $4,000. And with that rise in income, we see that consumption rises from $3,600 billion to $4,300 billion. So what we're seeing is that income rises from 3,000 billion to 4,000 billion. That's shown right here. Then consumption, remember this is consumer consumption expenditures, it rises from this $3,600 billion to this $4,300 billion. So here we're seeing a change in disposable income and a change in the consumption. So the way that you calculate a change in consumption is new consumption minus old consumption. To calculate change in disposable personal income, it is new income minus old income. So you see a trend here. It's new minus old to find the change. New minus old. So anytime you're finding the change in something, you take the new minus old. So we say that marginal propensity to consume is equal to this change in consumption divided by change in disposable income. We say that change in consumption is equal to new consumption minus old consumption. Change in disposable personal income is new income minus old income. So if we plug all that in, we get this nice, long, elaborate formula of saying marginal propensity to consume is this new consumption minus old consumption divided by this new disposable income minus old disposable income. Let's go ahead and plug the numbers in from what we've used up here on these 2 points chosen off of our graph. So we have the change in consumption. The new consumption is 4,300 minus the old consumption, 3,600. That gives us 700. The change in income, it went from the new income of 4,000 to the old income of 3,000. So that's a change of 1,000. So we take the change in consumption divided by the change in income, and we find that we get a 0.07. Great, we found marginal propensity to consume to be, or that MPC is equal to 0.7. We know that that's the slope of this line right here, the slope of that consumption function. But what in the world does this 0.7 actually mean? Here's what it means. It means that consumers are going to spend 70 cents of every after-tax dollar on goods and services, which means that every time that they receive a raise and they receive more money, out of every dollar, they're going to spend 70 cents of it on goods and services, which means that consumption, they're going to spend 70 cents of every dollar on that consumption. So we know that this autonomous consumption is equal to 1,500. We know that this marginal propensity to consume is equal to 0.7. So now we can plug in these numbers into this equation, into this original formula. Remember, this is now equal to 1,500. This marginal propensity to consume is equal to 0.70. And then as disposable personal income changes, we can actually calculate this planned level of consumption. So we can just plug it in and we know what the planned level of consumption is at each level of disposable personal income.